Well, let's see. It says I'm live. See anybody here yet, but I haven't been on in a while either. So just say welcome to anybody that shows up. Pray everybody's doing well in Jesus Christ's mighty name. Just figured pop in since I haven't been on in a while and talk on a few different topics, I guess. Maybe have a chat. As you can see from the last one, I won't quit swinging here. Bumped it maybe. Add a little color to my drawing. I do have it in a, what do you call it, paper protector type of thing. So that's probably why it's got a little extra glare on it there, but finally took some time and put some color to it. It's my my version of the Prince of Peace painting. I know it's not the best. I've never claimed to be an artist, but I did my best and it's not too bad. So I'm trying to get it to stop from swinging anyways. So I hope everybody's doing well. Normally, around this time of year, I usually do a video. Father has me usually do a video regarding Passover and stuff, and it was being pressed upon me to do so again. And there's just been lots of stuff going on here and in the world, and when you're on the front lines, and doing what Father has me doing, I pray for many things, and I do so on a global level. So I intercede for people that don't even know that I intercede for them, and just pray against all the evil stuff that's going on. And so it's been very busy. They're busy, and so I've been just kind of focusing on prayer, and I didn't really just have the energy, I guess, to do a video, and I already have the video on Passover anyway, so and it's pretty detailed. I get into the details of it, and as far as Easter goes and stuff. So if you need to know anything about that, even though it's already done in past, I hope everybody enjoyed their Passover with their families and stuff. But I do have a video on it, so you can go back and scroll through and check that out if you want to. Excuse me. Otherwise, there's just been so much stuff going on, and I've been kind of, I guess you could say, wrestling maybe with the Lord a little bit here and there. I mean, I should have been putting up some videos and stuff, a few videos, and I just have been so busy with attacks and with the things that the enemy's been doing, praying against these holidays that they have, and I've got a friend who, has just been having some issues, and he's been in the hospital, and he doesn't have the 1-9er or nothing. It's for other things, but I'm praying for him, and just lots and lots of stuff going on. But there are other people that I follow online that are following like current events and things that are going on in the world. My girl L1978, she's a good girl, and she does some live streams and shows things. So if you don't know who she is, you can check her out. You can always stop back to my page, and go through my playlist, because even if I'm not doing a live stream, if there's anything that's current and that's going on and stuff, especially if people are talking about it, or it's something that I think, or Father's leading me to put on one of my playlists. I have a playlist, there's quite a few playlists on my page, but you can go there, and there's a bunch of different topics, and just kind of browse through. And I did just go through and fix so that the the newest videos that I add are on the top. It used to be the other way around, and you just have to scroll to the bottom to get to the newest topic. But I flipped it around so the newest ones that I add are on there first. And I have a playlist list for signs of the sun, moon, and the stars. There's season the waves roaring. There's repent for the day of the Lord is at hand. You kind of might want to browse through those and see if there's anything new added. But pretty much usually daily I'm adding to one or more of them with the weather events that are going on. There's the channel that I follow. If you don't know of his channel, which I kind of want to mention too, I was thinking of mentioning something to him. It's called Planet X Hunter, and he has excellent sky videos. The guy is watching the sky all the time and takes videos, and you can just, his skies are amazing where he's at. I mean, sometimes I see similar things around here, but not really near like what he's seeing. So, but I guess he did a video, he put it up yesterday or today where, he's being attacked by people, saying negative things to him and such. And, when that happens to somebody, it kind of wears you down, and it can grind on you and stuff to where, you just want to throw your hands up and say, who cares, But there was quite a few people that gave him some encouragement in his comments as well as I did, and just let them know, that's how the enemy works, especially when the truth is getting out there. We all know the other types of censorships and things that are going on this platform, which is another reason why I haven't really spoken on a lot of things, because I'm not one to, I speak very bluntly, and I speak truth, and I speak it, I call it at point blank range, and, I don't want to have to be trying to watch my words and hello, can you hear me? Is the volume low? It's been a while since I've done a stream. Welcome in Jesus Christ's name to you. You're new. I haven't seen you around. But anyways, there's a lot of censorship going on. And anybody that's speaking, the devil doesn't want people to wake up. He doesn't want anybody knowing the truth about anything. They just want to keep people in a constant, confusion and all kinds of things. All of a sudden my phone's going off. That's the other thing, even I myself has been, interesting. Sorry, forgive me here. Got some stuff going on my phone here. But that's another thing is my internet and stuff, I've been having some issues with it. I don't know what that is, so I'm just going to wait. But Father's been exposing some awesome things today. It's been a while since I've had a laptop plugged in, and as soon as I plugged this in and got everything updated and stuff, I mean, he's just been exposing to me all the people that are connected to my Wi-Fi, and lots. It's been really bad, and I didn't stream for a while because for a couple weeks my Wi-Fi was down, and this will go show you how crazy the enemy works and attacks. I can see you. I don't know if you're, just trolling or what the scoop is, You're welcome to be here and listen. So, but I don't do code speak and all that stuff. I just speak straightforward, but my internet was down for a couple weeks, and, when I called my service provider to let them know that I was having issues, they tried to, check it out, do a check and all that stuff while you're talking to them over the phone. And they kept claiming that I didn't have any issues and stuff, but like my internet would be on for like 2 minutes and then it would cut off, and then I could have it for a couple minutes and then it'd cut off, and it did this for days and days. And I've just had this up now for, it's been a couple weeks. I kind of wanted to wait and make sure everything was going to be okay with it. But it took me phone call after phone call after phone call, and they kept saying there was nothing wrong, and I was getting angry. It's like, look, I'm paying for this stuff, and it's like, something needs to be done because I'm having an issue. Can't use my internet, and there are a lot of things that I have to do online right at the moment, and nothing like going online and trying to do something and then get kicked off, booted off and have to start over and stuff. So finally, after a few phone calls and talking to several different agents, there was one person that could see exactly what was going on and said, oh yeah, I see you're having a problem. Your internet's on for exactly 1 minute and this many seconds, and then it cuts off, and then it does it again over and over. It was like on a loop or some stupid thing. They're witchcraft, or they're garbage, or they're hacking, or whatever the crap. And God knows. He sees and hears and knows all things, just like he's exposing every person that's in on it. Like I said, as soon as I plugged my computer in, I was just floored at the stuff that was coming out of the woodwork that he was showing me. So just know, all y'all that are plugged in and watching and whatever you're doing, that, Father knows, and he's watching, sees, hears, and knows all things. And, you might think you're funny and stuff, but you're going to be laughing when he decides to give you a good swat. So just keep that in mind. Anyway, they sent out a technician finally. Guy came here, and with all of his equipment, he was going around to different buildings around my town here and around the house and all this stuff, and he wasn't finding a problem. None of his equipment was picking up a problem, yet the whole time he was here, I was having an issue still. And finally he came in, and he was just gonna, during this process, they said at first, they said it was my modem, so they sent me a new one in the mail, and I got it and I hooked it in, and I was still having the problem. So then when they sent the technician guy here, he came in and he plugged in another modem, and I was still having the problem while he's going around checking all this stuff. And then he come in and he was just going to be like, well, we'll just let it go for now and see how it goes and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, dude, it's like, it's been 2 weeks here. I have been having problems with my internet where I can't use it, and I'm paying for it. And, this is a third modem that you plugged in here, and I'm still having a problem. So something's up somewhere. And he's like, well, I'm not finding anything, and this and that. And I was praying. I pray against attacks from the enemy daily. And I was praying and against a bunch of stuff. And then finally, while he was standing there, then he saw it with his own eyes. He saw the modem cut out. The red lights and everything came on and all that stuff. And he goes, oh. He's like, well, I was doing it right now. And I said, yeah. I said, I've been doing this for 2 weeks. And he pulled out his equipment and was trying to, get a code or read whatever it was that was going on with it. And his equipment still wasn't reading a problem, even though he was witnessing it with his own eyes. And I just said, praise the Lord that he's allowing you to see it with your own eyes, because if you'd have walked out that door today and not resolved my issue, I'm going to be flipping out over here, because I'm paying for this stuff monthly, and, I can't use it. So finally he ended up, fixing the problem, and I waited here for, even though I've been had it, and once it got fixed, it's been pressed upon me and stuff to make some videos and whatnot, but, the attack's been hard and heavy, and I wanted to make sure that, that I was not going to have any issues. So it's been a couple weeks now that I've got the issue resolved, and so far, praise the Lord, thank you, Jesus. It's good. Well, you must be like a troll or something. Normally I don't ban people or, you know, hey, third party, welcome. Father's blessings in Jesus Christ's mighty name. Yeah, otherwise I'm doing well. There's just, a lot of attacks and stuff going on. I don't know if you know who this Mac guy is or whatever, but you're about ready to be rebuked here in Jesus' name. And normally I don't have to do that, but you're welcome to stay here and chat and everything. Some of your comments are a little questionable, I guess you could say. I don't read the chat a whole lot, but oh, good Lord. But, I love people just like Jesus loves people, and as long as you can, behave yourself, I shouldn't have to be mean. I don't like to be mean, Let's see if I can, let's see. Auntie Callie, I think, is the only one that's got a wrench in this place, and she's not on here so much anymore. What's that? Alright, we're going to go like that. Alright. So, welcome to the 3 that are here. I usually don't get too many viewers when I stream. This is just the easiest way for me to post videos. I don't have enough subscribers or views to do anything on like my phone or anything. So if I do make a video on my phone and I want to upload it, it takes like 10 hours to upload a 3-minute video. So I just go on here and I live stream, and then that way it usually posts right away. Sometimes though, it's there, and people that are my subscribers will get notified and they'll get to watch it. But sometimes I notice, depending on whatever, it doesn't always show up on my page right away. Just depends on the topic, I guess, and whatever they're doing with it before they decide to post it. But so anyways, I was talking about Planet X Hunter. I'm gonna give him a shout out. He does excellent videos, and he's a sky watcher. He's got his cameras to the sky all the time, and he gets some amazing footage. And I do put a lot of his, I save a lot of his videos into my playlist under the Signs in the Sun, Moon, and the Stars. But yeah, he's been getting a tough time from others, I guess, online. And, like I said, when that happens, it can be grinding on you. Amen, third party, thank you. It's good to have you here. I pop in over at our other friend's stream there every so often. And, but there's just been so much going on that I've just been in really a lot of prayer. And if I am online browsing through videos and stuff, I'm usually just checking out what else is going on around the world. And like I said, I post up into my playlist so that if anybody comes to the page, I remind you that to to check those out, because I always stick something up in there that there's a playlist that's for those who have eyes to see. There's one for those with ears to hear. Those are 2 that you should probably check regularly, because I do, there's usually things posted in there daily that I put in there. Not of my own, material. These are videos that I'm finding on YouTube where, and if I see that somebody's talking about a topic or whatever and they're exposed to stuff, to me, because there are so many of us that are in the same circle, I don't find it like necessary for me to then post something else about it. I don't have any fancy gear. I don't use StreamYard or anything like that, so I can't like screen share and stuff like other people do. I just use the straight YouTube platform, and so I got the chat box and I got the screen there, and that's what it is. Welcome, welcome. If you haven't, for anybody that may be new or whatever, subscribe, hit the bell. You get notifications that I'm coming on all the time. I usually never get a notification when I come on because I'm very heavily attacked, okay, by the enemy. And if I were to announce when I was going to go on live, that gives them all that much more time to try to, do their thing to try to wreck stuff. And as it is when I'm streaming, the majority of the time they're attacking my stream. So I apologize in advance if I cut out or if the stream buffers or anything like that. I do pray over the streams before I come on and pray over things. God allows certain things to happen for whatever reason. But so I'll apologize in advance if it happens, because it does happen and it happens quite frequently. And it happens especially when I'm digging into some deep truths or if I'm reading scriptures, the scriptures will get cut out and all kinds of things will go on. So let's see. Is it being interrupted? That wouldn't surprise me. Forgive me if it does. Hey, ray of sunshine, Father's blessings. Good to see you in Jesus Christ's name. Oh, you got to listen. Yeah, that was cool of Evie the other day. I do check out some streams, when I can. I pop in. I try to watch Elle when she's on. She usually, updates on things that's going on and articles in the papers and stuff like that. Like I try to watch her if I can. But with everything that's been going on, I don't know how many know how the enemy works, but especially right now, they're hard at it. They've been hard at it since the beginning of. They're hard at it all the time. But when it came into April, with Passover and everything that comes up, and then they got their pagan stuff that they do, and usually they're, getting ready and preparing and doing stuff a week, 2 weeks before their big ordeal and stuff. And so, that all went on, and now that's passed. But now you got Beltane coming up on the 1st. And so, they're prepping and getting ready for all that. And, they really don't stop. I mean, they go in shifts. They go in shifts so that there's like never a break in the action, and but yeah, Beltane's coming up on the 1st, and so they're hard at it. They've been hard at it, and then once that's through, let's see, we got, I don't know, I'd have to pull out my calendar and look. And the only reason why I have to keep track of certain things is just because I have to pray against the garbage that they're doing. So, and like I said, when I pray, it's on like a global type of level. So I pray for a ton of different things. I intercede for people and anyone that Father has me to intercede for. And it just, my days are pretty busy with the spiritual stuff. And so we got going on here. Oh, anyways, I started to say that Vivi, I went on and I did hang out with her for a bit the other day, and it was pretty cool. That she went to my website. She was doing, playing different cover tunes and stuff and checking out things. And it's not a website that I'm active on anymore, really. But I did leave it up because it shows, the diversity and the gift that God gave me for singing. For some of you that know my background and stuff, I've been in bands in my day, and I've had my opportunities to be in the industry and stuff. There's a reason why Father kept me out of it. I didn't find out until I was, I want to say in my 30s, mid 30s or so, before he revealed to me why it was that he never allowed anything that I ever was offered to like click. But anyway, I put my link to the website in there, and just there was a few people hanging out. I'm like, hey, if you guys want to check out my singing, and BB's like, yeah, drop the link. So I put it in there, and then she pulled up the page and played my what I have up online and my singing and stuff. And usually people are pretty surprised, and I thank you for the compliment, Ray Sunshine. I don't always hear that I blow people away, I guess, but I do, like BB said, she's thought that, she's like, this stuff could be on the radio. I hear that a lot. And yeah, I've had my opportunities, and I could have been in the business, but Father always, did something to keep me out of it. So, I had an opportunity to sing at the Grand Ole Opry, and, for years and years I pushed, to try to get into the industry. And then once Father opened my eyes to what the scoop was about the industry, then he answered me as to why he didn't allow me to go there. And he also scolded me, I guess you could say. Father chastises those that he loves, and I got kind of what you'd call a spanking a little bit. And I used my gift that he gave me for all those years, many, many years. Since the time I was 3 years old, I was singing. I grew up doing performing arts troops, and I was trained. I can dance and sing and all kinds of stuff. And, they were just like activities that my mom, that were going on around here that my mom allowed me to be in. We had some, performing arts troops and things. And I was in choir in school. We had concerts, and I've done a lot of things in my life, but singing, pretty much in front of people since I was like 3 years old. And so, yeah, it's a big part of music, and singing and stuff is a big part of who I am. But, Father gave me the gift to glorify Him with when I first started this channel. It's for teaching and everything else too, but Father has had me change lyrics and stuff, and some of the contemporary music, the music that's on the radio and stuff, or things from back in the day, old songs, old rock songs and stuff like that, to get a message out. And I did post a few videos on this channel and when I first started it, and I didn't get like copyright striked, but I got warnings. And because I took like a cover song, and even though it was the music and whatever, I changed, the lyrics were changed in a lot of the areas and stuff, and I got compliments from people about how they liked how I, how the word, scripture and stuff was put into the word or into the song and stuff, and I left them up for a little while, but after I started getting, the copyright warnings and stuff, I just put them on private. I still have them on my channel, they're just privatized so that, I don't want to have any issues. So, I'm just looking at the chat here, sorry. Yes, they do have a busy calendar every year. Well, Shazam's in here too. Welcome, Shazam. Good to see you in Jesus Christ's mighty name. Father's blessings to you. So, anyways, that's kind of a little bit of a background on the music thing, but that's good, Ray Sunshine, that you got to listen to the tunes. I'm glad that you liked them. I don't know if BB still has the video up or not, but Um, but yeah, I mean, if I had a nickel for, I had some influence, of singers, growing up, and Father gave me a gift where I can sing pretty much everything. Um, you know, back in the day when I got offered the chance at the Grand Ole Opry, um, I was 12 at the time, and I was in a club where my dad was playing, his band was playing, and he got me up to sing with him. And I did a country song then. I'm not a big, huge country fan. I like all kinds of genres of music, and some country stuff is okay, but I'm not really a big country fan. But I do listen to, there's a few country songs that I do like, but he got me up to sing, and there just happened to be somebody that was, a famous country singer's son was in there from Nashville, and when I got done, he came up and offered me a chance to go to the Grand Ole Opry and sing and stuff, and my dad was just like, no. And then, at that time, I was kind of mad, blown away, because I'm like, hey, here's my opportunity, I want to go sing at the Grand Ole Opry, and my dad's like, no. But, and it was a blessing, I was mad at my dad at the time, but that was, Father protecting me, because, well, anybody that knows anything about what goes on in the industry and whose eyes are open and awake, I mean, the devil runs the industry, and there's no way I would ever sell my soul for fame and fortune and whatnot. I'm saying because I enjoy, it brings me joy, something I like to do. I like that, like all the years that I was in the bands that I was in, that, it brings joy to people, I like to make people happy, and it wasn't really about me or being famous or anything. It's just what I really enjoyed doing. It brought joy to myself. It brought joy to other people. And, I just looked at it like, that was what I wanted to do for like a career and to make money and, and that kind of thing. It really wasn't about like being famous and all that kind of stuff. It was just, I love singing and I wanted to bring joy to people with my voice. And like I said, Father gave me the spanking and let me know that, I mean, he let it go on for all the years that he did, but I did use my singing gift that he gave me in the wrong way for many, many years. So I had to repent of that, and actually I had to break a bunch of contracts and all kinds of stuff that was made with Kingdom of Darkness, because, like, for anybody that tries to get into the music industry that may listen to this, you would know that even when you go to auditions for things, and I'm just assuming that it would probably be the same when it comes to, like, if you're an actor or an actress and stuff like that. I'm assuming that they have, contracts or things that you have to sign when you go to do an audition and stuff. And normally you don't really read like the fine print in a lot of things, but like any audition that I ever went to, in the bottom of the contract is dates on there that they have that you give them the right to use, like, like, I'm sure it has to be the same for acting. I'm not positive, but like when you're going in for an audition, they want a picture, they want like a headshot, a picture of what you look like. Usually you give a sample of your singing. And then you go in and you live audition, they're videotaping it, you get them permission to like videotape and stuff. And on the bottom of these contracts in like small print, it says that you give them your permission that they can use like your image, your likeness, like anything that they might like about you. Like if they like your hairstyle or maybe the clothing that you're wearing or whatever it is that they want to use, that you give them permission to use it. And it's like it's like from now and forever, and it doesn't guarantee whether you make it, if you don't make it through the audition, say you're auditioning, like I auditioned for a lot of different things, trying to be singers, and these bands where they lost their vocalist and they're looking for a singer, and you know, I've auditioned for these things, and also a couple of TV programs and stuff. I drove to Chicago one time to audition for the X Factor and stuff, and you know, and Father had to bring all that stuff to my attention, that all that stuff had to be broken and rebuked and renounced in Jesus Christ's name, and you know, I had to, um, you know, basically say, you know, they don't have the right to use my image, my pictures, my nothing, my style, whatever it is, my voice, none of that. You know, because when you sign these contracts, even though it's just for an audition, whether you make it or you don't make it, you give them permission when you sign these things. So, you know, if you wanted to, you know, God, if you have a musical talent or any kind of skill or talent whatsoever, you know, God gave you that gift so that you can glorify Him with it. And there, you know, there's got to be other ways that you can self-promote yourself or whatever. There's got to be a Christian out there somewhere that maybe that has no affiliation with any of that stuff, because you know, that, you know, it's those contracts or something. But that was just for auditions, you know, and but yeah, all that stuff had to be broken, rebuked, renounced, and cut off. You know, Satan has no permission, and all that stuff had to be done, you know, and you just don't think of these things when you're up and coming, and they just pump into your head that, oh, you can do whatever you want, be whatever you want. If you want to be famous, you just go for it, and you can do it. And, you know, so long as you're willing to do what they want you to do, you know, there was other opportunities that I had, and I spoke about it in another video, where I used to work at a place. It was a club that they opened up here that was ran by a band that used to be popular back in the 80s. You know, they were popular on MTV and stuff, and they toured and did all that, and it was a cool place to work. You know, I did meet a lot of famous people and rubbed elbows, you know, and had lots of opportunities and doors that could have been open, but you know, I just wasn't willing to do the stuff that they wanted me to do to try to make it. You know, and you got three of these you know, producers that come out from California, they're sitting there and they're, you know, enjoyed my singing. I got up on stage, they sat there and watched me sing and everything, and they wanted to discuss a deal, but I had to go to a motel room, you know. I'm just like, no, I'm not doing that, you know. I mean, I go, you know, it's on another video, I can't recall which one I put it on, but you know, they offered me a lot of money just to go back to a motel room to discuss a deal, and I just told them, I said, look, you know, and you could wave $1 million in my face right now, and I'm not going back to any motel room with three strange men that I don't know, you know, to discuss some record deal. It's like, if you want to make a deal, why, you know, why can't we just discuss it right here? You know? Excuse me. What we got going on? Yeah, that's true, Ray Sunshine. That's true too. You know, you gotta have discernment, but you know, there are some people that take it to the extreme as well. You know, there have been people that have popped up and given warnings to. You know, they just label it Christian artists and stuff. You know, you gotta be careful, because God gave everybody their musical talents, okay? If you have a musical talent, you can sing, you can play an instrument or whatever, you know, you have that gift because God gave it to you. And He gave it to you so that you can glorify Him with it. You can usually tell when the ones that have sold out, because, you know, you'll see the hand signs, like whatever kind of content's in their videos. If they make a video, you know, if God has given you eyes to see and ears to hear, like the symbolism and the symbols and their hand signs and hand signals, could be cool. You know, there's a lot entailed, you know, when it comes to that stuff. But you got to be careful too, because You know, like some people will say, well, you know, like rap music is not of God. Well, you know, you're kind of, yeah, I would say like rap music, you know, where there's cussing and swearing and they're talking about sex and drugs and, you know, I mean, they can be pretty raunchy, you know. I mean, is some rap music that I even like, you know, or have liked back in the day. And, like I said, I like music in general, so I have a taste in like all different genres. Um, I lean towards my favorite kind of music is like the rock, alternative blues, you know, those genres, kind of my more along my lines of what I get into. But, you know, I also, like I said, my dad, you know, well, he sang a bunch, a little bit of different everything because they used to do weddings and all kinds of stuff too. But, you know, he mainly liked country music and, um, you know, so like I said, I have some country songs that I like. I'm not a big country fan, but you know, I like some country stuff. I like some rap stuff. You know, I like it when people will take a song and mix maybe some rapping and some jamming in it. You know, some good rock and stuff. It just depends um, on the person's artistic talent. You know, but what you really need to pay attention to also is like the lyrics and what they're trying to say. You know, and but you do got to be careful with it, see, because all of the stuff that they're doing in the industry, you know, most of the stuff, I would say, you know, 99%, if not all of it, coming out of the mainstream is, you know, it's witchcraft. I mean, there's spells. There's a song out there that's called, you know, from way back when that I put a spell on you. You know, that's just it. You know, it's a bunch of play on words. You know, there's spells, and they put music to it, and um, and it ends up, you know, there was a whole thing I was gonna do on years ago back on Facebook was gonna have me do a whole thing on music and stuff because it goes really deep, deeper than that even. Like if you can read music, um, and the words just it is so deep that it's kind of hard to for me to explain well, I guess. But like I played in band also when I was in school, so I can read music and the lines. You know, it's called a staff. You got you know you got 5 lines of 4 spaces when it comes to reading music. You either got treble clef or bass clef, and so that'll depend on what the notes are on the lines and in between the spaces, whether you're reading bass music or treble clef music. But like just the word staff in itself, like a music staff, and anybody that has done some digging and some research knows that Lucifer, before he fell and became Satan, he was the high cherubim and he was the high angel of music. Excuse me. So that's why they use music as profoundly as they do, and it's out there and it grabs everybody and they got what they call the hook in the song. You gotta put that hook in there. That's so that he can hook you up and drag you in, pull you in, reel you in. It's pretty crazy. The depth of the meanings of words and how they use them, and like you might think it means one thing, but that's not what they're talking about, But yeah, just in the staff of music. I mean, witches and that they use staffs, there's staffs and scepters and wands and so musical language is very I don't want to put a wrong word on it, but it can be pretty deep. And so when it comes to these songs on the mainstream and stuff, I mean, they're casting spells, and I mean, I've been there. You know what I mean? And the hooks get you, the hook in the song, the rhythm, the beats, the it's all very intricately thought about, you know, you can do some research online and see where even artists that aren't even so much in the industry anymore, but that were popular back in the day, and they kind of fell, or stepped back, and you haven't heard from certain musicians in a while, bands and groups and stuff. They talk about, how it works, and that before an album, that they do satanic prayers over them, and they put them in this safe and type thing, and you know, they do a ritual and all this crazy stuff before stuff goes like platinum and gold and all this stuff. I mean, it's wild and it's crazy, but it's true, And like I say, I am very blessed that Father kept me out of the industry. I have been trying to find ways to use my singing skills to glorify Him. So normally I'm just singing to myself in the house here. I did record, like I said, some videos, and I had them up on YouTube. And once I got the copyright warnings and stuff, then I just put them on private. I don't want to cause any big issues and have problems and stuff, and whatever. But that is a website that I left up, and so that people could at least hear my voice and see the diversity in it, because I can sing anything from girl stuff to guy stuff to rough guy stuff to country to, even the one song that's on there is more along the lines of heavy metal, So, I have my influences listening to music growing up, like the Pat Benatar, Joan Jett and stuff. I enjoyed listening to them, and if I had a nickel for every time that somebody told me that I sounded like Joan Jett or that I sounded like Janis Joplin, which, I don't really get into a lot of Janis Joplin stuff. There's a couple songs of hers that are okay, but, I'd be rich. I'd be a millionaire if I had a nickel for every time somebody said that to me. But, it is, I'm glad it makes, that people like it, and that's why I sing, for my enjoyment, and to bring God, pleasure and stuff, and to please, I like to make people happy, so people can be happy and singing and dance along with me, that's why I did it for as many years as I did do it, and it was a way to connect with people. I love people, and so, I was just never the type, even when I was in the bands, the people used to be surprised because I've done some partying back in the day. I wasn't really a partier. I'm not a big, was never a big drinker or anything like that. I've had, when I played in the bar or in the clubs, we were allowed like a free drink per set, and I would drink my free drink per set. But I was so much singing and dancing and jumping up and down and whatever that, I sweat it all out. I never really would get drunk. In between my one drink, I'd have water or whatever. But there have been times where I've been drunk, and like I say, I never was, but, I just was never really, I had responsibilities. I became a mother when I was young. I had my first child just before my 21st birthday, and, I was married and everything at that time, so don't get me wrong there, but, was married young, had my first child when I was young, and, so I had responsibilities. And I take responsibility very seriously. Doesn't matter what I'm doing. If I'm responsible for something, it's, I do it to the best of my ability, and I make sure it's done, to the best of my ability. And so yeah, after I get done playing at night, the band would want to be going and partying and stuff, and everybody would want after the band, after the club party and all this stuff, and I just never did any of that. I always went home. Everybody's like, "Oh, you're not going to the party?" It's like, no, I gotta go home. I got kids to get up with in the morning. I'm a responsible adult. I come here and I sing to, it was a release for me, brought me joy. To sing for you, to bring you joy, so you can come out and dance and have some fun. And then, it was a part of how I made money, part of my income. And so it was like, but now it's time. I did my job here, and it's time to go home. I had kids to get up with in the morning, And so I just was not, I'm just different, I guess. than a lot of people. I said that, and I'm not saying I'm any better than anybody else. And I don't mean that at all. I am different than a lot of people because even when I was trying to get into the industry, like even the big bands, when they would come and have their shows here, and you mingle with them and whatever. I mean, while they're working and playing, and in between the sets, you could talk or whatever. Normally, big band didn't get a big break, if at all. Just depended on what it entailed for their gig, if they were just there to do a show or if they were there to play a 4-set night or whatever. And but everybody looked forward to, after everything was done and over with, or you guys can go hang somewhere later so we can hang, get to know you, and find out how it is that you got to where you are, and all this kind of stuff. I mean, I've been there, I've done that, and so anyway, off topic, I guess, but I just get off on. I love music, and I love, I've met a lot of people, and it's kind of a bummer when I look back on some things. I mean, those are some good days, in my life, and I've met a lot of people and rubbed a lot of elbows with famous people, but some of the friends that I had back in those days, you just come to realize that the only reason why they were really my friend was because I had these connections to these people, and they wanted to get there, you know what I mean, to talk to the person or whatever. And it's kind of sad to think of stuff like that, because I just, if I make a friend or I look at you like a friend, I view you as a friend. I care about you, and until you give me a reason not, to where I can't trust you or something, I'm pretty, I'm just pretty easygoing type of person. I mean, I love people, so I won't fight with anybody really. I try not to, anyways. To me, it's a waste of time. There's much better things you can be doing with your time than arguing with somebody. So, and when it comes to God or His Word, or when I'm speaking anything that has to do with that, I take that very seriously as well. It is a responsibility that He's given me. And like I said, we've been kind of wrestling around here the last few weeks. I'm supposed to be putting out some things, and it just seems like I'm not the kind that's given once in a while, Father's got something, blessing or something coming, but more times than not, I'm the one that's to give a warning to someone or something, or to the body of Christ or whatever. And it's really tough to have to deliver those kind of messages, because nobody likes the warnings. Everybody likes the blessings and the what's God going to give me messages, but you also should look at the warnings like a blessing as well, because God is faithful in the fact that, at least He gives you a warning before He swats, and so you should look at it as a blessing, even though it is a warning. If God's saying you need to be careful of this, or watch out for this, or whatever, that's a blessing, because otherwise He could just, let you step into the trap, fall into the hole, let somebody kick you upside the head, stab you in the back. Well, let me see here. I'm missing all kinds of stuff in the chat. It's nice to have people in here, and I used to having even the 4 people that are here, I used to having too many people at a time. It's nice. Let's see here. Go up and, what am I missing? It's gonna let me go up. I gotta drag the bar. There we go. Oh yeah, here we are. Oh yeah, I know a lot of people do fall for it. Shazam, they do. A lot of people don't care, even people that they know what's going on, some people don't care. And I've mentioned it before, not to be too much information or whatever, but the people that I've been with, I'll put it that way, doing the air quotes, in my life, that I can count on my 2 hands. I haven't been with very many people. Have I had promiscuity back in that day? Yes, I have, absolutely, things that I've had to repent for. Um, but I would never do, if I was ever with somebody, it was because there was, to me, there was something more there, and I was hoping that it would continue to be something, um, but that wasn't always the case. But that was one compliment that the people at the club that I used to work at, where all these famous people were coming in and out, they used to compliment me that, they were confused at some points because they'd be like, the other girls I worked with, it didn't matter what day of the week, you know, they didn't wait till the weekends, but any day of the week, and that's what they were looking for, to get drunk and to get, grab a hold of somebody and hook up. And I'm a lot more fussy than that. And so, they'd say things to me sometimes, well, don't you ever just wanna, and how come you don't? And it's like, well, I look at it, differently than you folks do. I don't have to have that, you know what I mean? I mean, is what I call like the gift, the icing on the cake, the bonus that, when you hook up with, get with somebody that you care about, you love, that's the way that you express physically your feelings for a person. You don't just go and just, throw it around. So I've never been that way. And so that's one thing they used to compliment me on. I mean, I'm picky and choosy, and there's been a couple times, um, they did say to me that, that they were, what was the word? They respected me, I guess, because I didn't do like they did, which was like just a float every day of the night kind of thing. And maybe once every, I don't know, 6 months, maybe once a year, I might decide that, wow, he's really cute and I'd like to get to know him better and whatever, but I've done that a lot of years. That was when I was in my 20s. But anyway, they respected me that I wasn't, like that. And so I know exactly how the clubs work, how the bars work, how people work when they get in them and they get drunk and they hook up. And, I've seen a lot of things in my day. And they know what they're doing, when they get asked to go back to the hotel room to discuss record deal or whatever, they're not dumb. So if they're willing to do that, then they're willing to do that. But I wasn't, and I still would never to this day. So, pardon me, I have to get a drink. Yep, that's right, Ray Sunshine, a little bit of everything, but that is true. I am kind of a rocker at heart, you could say. It is my favorite genre of music. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know so much about that Hill song. There are some, I think I checked out a couple of their tunes, and there were some flags here and there. But basically, like I say, it's like lyrics and stuff you want to pay attention to. You definitely want to pay attention to if they have a video. Um, what the context of their video is about. I have seen it's been kind of a bummer because there are a couple of artists that I was listening to that, I still like their songs, but you can tell by their videos and stuff. Generally, I'll tell you, Satan runs the music industry, okay? And if you are really 100% for God and not willing to, bend, you're really going to have a hard time getting into the industry at all whatsoever. I mean, you have to bend somewhere. And, it's just it's sad, to think that people want fame and fortune or whatever it is that badly, that they compromise or they bend or whatever. I think that they're, I know that there's a couple other artists that, they just put out their own music and they promote themselves. And granted, it's more difficult, and Satan can make it really hard on somebody. That would like to try to get up and and be noticed. But I'd rather be not noticed, and just because I do it for the joy of, like I said, it brings joy to me, and if it brings joy to the Father, and if I can even bring joy to a handful of people that are in the midst of me, um, it's more about that for me, anyways, than it is for being, to where the whole world knows who you are and being like famous. Um, and really, you don't, realize too how fortunate you are to not be famous, and it kind of surprises me. I mean, I guess I used to be the same way as others are. Like when you see somebody on television or in a movie, or they're a famous musician or whatever, that you could, you know, become. Oh, what's the word I want to use? I want to be careful because I mean, I've never really like idolized the people. But you forget when you're looking at it, these people, you forget that they're just regular people, just like you, just like me, just like anybody else. Or they were, before the spotlight is put on them, and they were put out for the whole entire world to see. They're just a normal person, and you find that out about them, especially when you get to meet them and you're hanging out with them and you're talking with them and stuff, and you're like, um, it's a different perspective. I mean, you got people in crowds and stuff that even when I was in a band, I mean, there were times in the song where I would close my eyes, depending on the part of the song, or you're really focused or whatever, and I could be up on stage, and if there was like rafters or whatever up in the front. Like, there's many times where I would be up there singing, and people are out there dancing and having a good time or whatever, and I'd close my eyes and then I'd open them, and there'd be like this guy hanging right in front of my face, and he's like trying to kiss me and stuff, and I'm just like I had to jump back and be like, whoa, it's like, you just look at people, and people just get so crazy when it comes to celebrities, like. And I know you know what I'm talking about. I mean, literally, people just go crazy to where they're screaming their head off and just acting a fool, And they're just a person with a skill, a talent. They're good at what they do. And because they're in the spotlight and made to be, out where everybody can see them, they just get like, I don't know, it's crazy. But, you tend to idolize those people and stuff, and there's not, they're just a person, just like you and me, and they can sing, or they can play guitar, or they can play the drums, or they can do whatever, they can act, or whatever. And they're good at it. God gave them a gift. They got a skill, they got a talent, But at the end of the day, they're still just a person that God created, And the other thing is, though, is that they had to be willing to, even if they are unknowingly doing it, there's a compromise. There's some small print somewhere that you missed, and you can pretty much gather that information from any musician and people that are in the industry, and they let you know pretty blatantly nowadays. They're not quiet about it. So, yeah, gotta be careful of that stuff. But yeah, Hillsong, I've heard a couple of their songs, and then certain things came up, and I did some more research into it, and I don't know. You just gotta be careful, be discerning. You can ask the Lord, if it's somebody that you should be listening to, because the music thing is when it comes to spiritually, it's deep, and it affects people on a spiritual level, and the devil knows it, and there are so many people that are just grabbed into it that, but in the same way though too, like I took, until I can find, I'm hoping at some point, Father will bring some folks around in my picture to where, I can play music with people. We can make our own music for the Lord. You know, for the time being, all I can do is sing along with something else or someone else's music. And so that's why some of the songs that I enjoy listening to, he's had me take and change the lyrics to, so that it brings him glory. You know, and people will get out, you know, like I started to say with the rap thing, you know, they'll say, well, rap music is absolutely not a thing of, has nothing to do with God. Well, you know, you kind of want to be careful saying that because, you know, if that's that person's talent, you know, as long as they're doing it to glorify God, and that's their intention with it, then I don't, you know, from what Father has shown me about music, if he's given you a gift and a skill and a talent of any kind, whatever it is that you do, you know, and if you know, someone, maybe they can't sing, somebody could be tone deaf, you know, and can't hit certain notes, so they choose to speak their or rap their lyrics versus singing them because maybe they know that they can't sing properly, you know, like hit the notes or they're off key or whatever it is. You know, you can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. You know, you got to use discernment and you have to look at it. You know, like what is this song about? Sometimes you think the song is about something else. You know, and there's a lot of songs in the industry that, you know, you think that somebody's singing about their boyfriend or their girlfriend or their whatever, and really they're not. You know, they're just basically talking about Satan. You know, it's all I know is when Father opened my eyes and like I started like, and I saw, you know, when he was explaining to me why, because one day I was asking him why, you know, because of like Dee said, and like other people have said, you know, I've heard it from lots of people, man, you should be on the radio, you should be, I can't believe you aren't big, and it's like, you know, and it's not, you know, not that I don't have enough skill or talent to do so. And the amazing thing really about all of those recordings, especially on the website there, the bits and pieces one where we did the cover tunes, that was like we made that CD so that we could give it to club owners and stuff that wanted to hear us, you know, before they would book us. And so we did this collage of cover tunes, and the guy who recorded us was like in awe himself because the recordings were completely raw. And he really didn't add any effects or much of anything to my vocals or anything. Maybe a little tiny bit of reverb, you know, but a lot of the singers that you have out there today, you know, a lot of them can't even sing without like auto-tune. You know, and you can hear it in the song, you know, they can get up there and they can sing and they might be way off key, but the effect or the device that they have hooked to the microphone auto-tunes it, you know, that's why sometimes in some songs you'll hear, it kind of sounds, to me it sounds warped. That's the only word I can think of, but because I can tell when they're using it. But you know, if you're not that great of a singer, you can slap auto tune on a microphone and, you know, or plug it into your equipment and stuff, and you know, it'll make you sound good. You know, but that was one thing that the recording guy at the studio said. You know, he was like, wow, you know, to see you guys play live would be just awesome because, you know, I'm not like having to do anything to anything, you know, other than just sit here and record you, and it's like awesome, you know, and you mix it together, and that was a compliment, you know. I like compliments like that. It was a good compliment to know that you didn't have to add a bunch of effects or anything on the voices or any of the guitars or anything to make it sound any different. He just, you know, recorded us and he put it together, and when we would take it to the bars and tell them, well, this is a pretty much raw recording, and they're like, it is not, you know, that can't be, you can't sound like that. It's like, come to one of our live shows, you know, check it out. You know, that's why we had such good following. It's because we sang all different kinds of stuff. I think we did like one country song, because, you always get the one person that wants to hear country, but we mostly did rock, blues, and alternative music. And I sang everything from, like Melissa Etheridge to Alanis Morissette to, I was singing ZZ Top and, we did Joan Jett songs. We did Collective Soul, Ted Nugent. I mean, a big different collaboration. We did AC/DC and all kinds of stuff. And we just had a very wide range of mix of songs. And so people really enjoyed that because otherwise you'd go to the club and you could hear bands that would sing the same old band songs. Like you get sick of hearing them. You go to watch another band play and it's like every band plays that song. Every band plays that song. Every band plays that song. But, we played some of those. And they were on our playlist because people usually would request certain ones that everybody plays. But for the most part, we had a very diverse, set of songs that we did and a wide range and a mix. I mean, some of the clubs that we played were like dinner clubs. So like in the beginning, you had to have kind of a mellower set so that people could sit and enjoy their meal and everything without, rocking their ears out. And then after everybody got done eating and everything and the food was all done, then you could kind of pick up the pace with your tunes and rock out, get kind of, more rocking as the night went on. So the band which band, Ray Sunshine? Sorry, I'm not looking at the chat. My cat's over here kind of bothering me. She's waiting for her soft food. How did my clock get off on there again? See, they're messing around with my computer. Huh. That's right. We're on, right? Let me see. 10:16 Eastern Standard Time. See, and I already changed my clock on here once, and that was the other thing I thought to show me when I pulled open the, when I don't get to plug in a computer very often, and when I plug it in, oh my goodness, the people he was exposing on my internet connection was crazy. I mean, I've been going, like I said, just got the stuff all squared away, and for 2 weeks, I've been keeping track and watching because that's even keeping track and watching because, like, when he couldn't find anything wrong with his equipment, and he actually had to stay here and finally God allowed him to see the stuff mess up with his own eyes before he would do anything to fix it. I was asking all kinds of questions because, I mean, I see people out here at the pool where my stuff is hooked up at. I asked them, could anybody mess around with stuff out there? Could they do this over here, And the guy's like, no, I don't think so. But, for 2 weeks anyways, I've been keeping track of, like, when you go to hook up to Wi-Fi, you can kind of, you have a choice, a selection of what you can, a network you can hook up to. And the same ones that are around me where I'm at, like the houses around me and stuff, I can see that they're on there, but like I can't connect to them because I don't have their password and whatever. But like when I plugged in this computer, I took a bunch of pictures and screenshots and stuff. There are so many things that popped up on there as soon as it plugged in, like stuff that I've never, names and stuff of things that I've never seen, and not on the computer, like on my other device that I use all the time, my phone, was popping up on there, like just, it was crazy. Father is exposing to me all of these people that don't have anything better to do, Even though I'm not famous, I might as well be because I guess talk like paparazzi, and that's not a joke, And so a lot of times I'll even tell the devil, as much as him and his witches and his minions stalk me and everything else, I should be getting paparazzi wages. I'll tell you that, like the Hollywood stars get. But anyway, the band, the one that, depending on what you listen to, see, there's 4 different songs on that website, Ray Sunshine. The first one that's called Bits and Pieces. That is a collage of cover songs that was with the very last band that I was with before I stopped jamming um, in that group. We kind of split up mostly because of there were some issues with the drummer of the band and his wife were having some issues, and like I said, I never went partied after and stuff, so I don't know what happened after we left our gigs and stuff because I just went there, did my thing, got paid, went home. And so apparently some stuff went down after some gigs and stuff, and the wife made the drummer quit the band, so our band kind of disbanded because we didn't have a drummer. But the name of that band was called Misbehavin', and that's like MISS Behavin'. And I was with them for couple three. I was with that one for a couple 3-4 years. I was with other bands before that. Like the other song that's on there by the band that I was in that was called Wicked Sister. That was a totally bunch of different guys. And then the Screaming Eagle song, that one is just myself and my brother. My eldest brother who just passed away last year. He played all the instruments on that song. He played all the guitars, the bass, the drum, did the drums for it, and that's all him. And then he did the backup vocals on that, and then I sang the vocals. Technically, that's a song that him and my other brother wrote together. He also has a version where a few different people have sang that Screaming Eagle song. But out of all of the versions, most people seem to like my version, the way I sang it the best. But that song is just my brother and myself. And then the other song, which was like the heavy metal one, where I entered that into a contest, and it wasn't even finished song. There's not really any backup vocals and stuff on there. That song wasn't really finished, but I entered it into a contest anyways, just to see what would happen with it. That one was a collaboration that I did online with a guy from Spain, and we met on a different music website that was called Musicians Collaborations, and that's what it was for you to hook up with musicians from all around the world. And like how that would work is they would say you had a band and you needed somebody to play a guitar track, and so you're looking for a guitarist, and you go on here and you might live in one state and there's a guitarist over in another country or another state. They would send in a clip of their guitar playing or whatever, and then you mix it together and stuff in your own homes and stuff like that on your computers and stuff. And that's the guy from Spain, that MG71 song. That what's the name of it? Starting Over. We didn't really have a band name because we weren't a band. We just collaborated on that song, and it was that guy's song from Spain. His name was Miguel, and he called himself MG71. So that's why on the little thumbnail on that video, or on that audio clip, it says Lady Rocker with MG71, because we weren't a group, we just collaborated. He sent me his song over the computer, and that was all him. He played the drums and the guitars and all that. And then I just added my vocal, like it's even his lyrics. And he sent me the lyrics and everything. And then I just sang the lyrics, and my brother dubbed them into and mixed it in with his music. And then we sent it back to him. And technically, we were supposed to do backup vocals and do some other things on it before it was actually finished. But I submitted it into that contest just to see, how it would do and what people thought of it. And I wanted to get kind of some feedback. And that song actually ended up winning in the metal genre out of, I think there was 125 songs that were entered into that genre. in that contest section at that time, and we took third place. Like we ended up in the top 10, what they call it. So like we got like a top 10 award, and because we ended up in third place, well, actually, it was an exciting thing because we were actually in first place until the very last seconds of the voting of the song. And then at first, I thought that we had first place, and I was like ecstatic when the time cut for the voting. And then when I went back and refreshed the page, within like the last couple seconds, we dropped from first to third. But it was exciting just because it was an original project. It wasn't even a finished project, but we did pretty well with it. And then we ended up getting they did a write up about it in Metal Edge magazine. So it was a neat thing that happened at that time. But so that Misbehaving band I was with for probably, like I said, 3-4 years. That Wicked Sister band, I was with them for like 2 years. And then my brother and I, we didn't really have a band per se. That was his song. He and my other brother made that song. My other brother wrote the lyrics. Well, I guess they worked on the lyrics together, but my brother Joe, the eldest brother, he played all the instruments. And my other brother initially sang it originally. And then he had other people sing it, to try to see how they would interpret it. And then I did my version of it, and I posted it on there too. And I didn't ever enter that one in the contest. I thought about it, but I never did enter that one. But I did get a lot of compliments on that song. Even Dee Dee said she liked that song the best. But that's like I said, that's not a band. That's just my brother. He played the guitar, the bass, the rhythm guitar. He did the drums, all that. That's all him. And then I sang it. So, the other one, like I said, was just a collaboration between me and the other guy from Spain. So, but all in all, I've been in bands and was in bands starting from, let's see, well, like I said, I was in performing arts and stuff from the time I was little, which, doesn't include bands, but I've been performing in front of people since about the age of 3. I was in like performing arts troops. I've been in dance troops and used to figure skate. I even did that for a while. And I've just always been performing and entertaining in some way, shape, or form. And then when I got into bands, I started in like late teens, early 20s. And there are some bands that I can't even recall all the name. I tried a few different things. I was in one band once that's all they did was heavy metal. And even though I could sing it, I didn't stay with it because it was really hard on my voice, my vocal cords. We were doing stuff like Megadeth and stuff like that. And I can do that, but to do it for a whole entire night, it was really pretty hard on me. So I only lasted with them for a couple months, and then I wanted to get into something else just because I couldn't tolerate doing that to my voice all night long. And then but I've been in quite a few different bands, but the bigger ones that I was in were that Misbehaving one was the best one I was ever in. That had the most seasoned musicians. Like the guitar player in that band was phenomenal. He could listen to a song and immediately play it. He was like, listen to it once and he could play it just like that. Same with the drummer, the bass player, and the rhythm guitar players. They were really, very seasoned and picked up pretty quick, and stuff, and we could throw songs together pretty quickly, and then they sounded really good. But the other band, we were pretty good, not too bad, a little rough around the edges here and there with some of the backup singing and stuff, and some of the instrumentation. The one band, we only lasted like a couple of years because the guitar player was a really bad alcoholic and like really bad, and one night on stage, he got way drunk, wasted. One night on stage, he got way drunk, wasted, to where he could hardly talk. And he used to sing some of the songs, and it got to the point where he could even hardly play his guitar. He started making a lot of mistakes and everything. And we ended up firing him and hired somebody else. He was very, very talented, very skilled musician when he was sober. He even used to teach guitar and stuff at a music store. But he had a drinking problem, And that's I made a comment on, I can't remember who's, I think it was on our friend's stream there the other day, Thirst for Truth. We were talking about that, me and Cindy. Oh, sorry. Apologies, girl. I don't know if you're listening, but sorry I said your name. We were talking about and stuff in the chat the other day when I was there anyways, and they were talking about band and partying and stuff, and it's like, yep, when you're in the band and stuff, I mean, that's definitely what they like to do is drink and party, and kind of they go like hand in hand, so yeah. So I hope that answers your question. Let's see where we at. Sounds like the food tastes. what do I miss in here? I'm gonna go up. Post a link to your music before the stream ends. Okay, I can do that. What I'll do is I'll put the link. I think I have it on another. I talked about it on, maybe not to this extent, but I talked about it a little bit on another video, but I think I might put the link in there on the old stream. Let's see. I'm missing a lot here. Yes, thank God we didn't get what we wanted sometimes. I'm trying to. Okay, here we are. Very uncomfortable when you see people in this there. Yes. Yes, thank God we don't get what we want sometimes. That's the most awesome thing about that. We think that we want something or need something really bad, and he sees what's ahead and he knows what's best, Even though at the time, like I said, excuse me, when my dad said no to the Grand Ole Opry opportunity, I was mad. I was mad. I mean, to me, that was like a chance thrown in the garbage. I couldn't believe it. But yep, God knew better. You know what I mean? That time as well as any other time that, I was given an opportunity, and I had an opportunity at one time of, when I was with that band, Misbehaving, an agent came out from the East Coast and from the New York area and offered to pay for us for a whole weekend to go out to New York, and they were gonna, hook us up with the opening up for somebody in a club, over there for the weekend, put us in a recording studio, record some stuff, and I was all excited. At this time, my kids were toddlers, and I had to, ask my mom and stuff if she would watch the kids so that I could go, and she said that she would. I got all excited, and then slowly as time went on, the band members kind of fell out, that they didn't want to go for whatever reason. They had a reason why they didn't want to go, and I'm like, at that time, I'm like looking at them all. I was like, what are you talking about? This is what we all been shooting for, is to get somewhere, make it, to have our foot at the door, blah, blah, blah. And for whatever reason, they all started to fall away. But then the agent said, well, if they don't want to come, you can, I'll still pay for you to come out here. And I got studio musicians I can hook you up with, and we'll do that, and blah, blah, blah. And so I was still going to go out there. And then at the last minute, like 3 days before I was supposed to go, my mom called me and told me that, she didn't want me going out there. She was worried that something was going to happen to me, and, blah, 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 on and on with the reason. And I was even mad, I was mad. I was mad when I didn't get to take, anytime I had an opportunity that was like, I could touch. It was like right there and I could touch it. And God just protected me from it. And at the time, I didn't see that was him protecting me from it. I was looking at it like, wow, and I was mad. But, and like I said, even pursued, trying to do something musically until I was in my 30s. And then as many times as I've heard, you should be on the radio, you should be here, you should be there, you need to be at the right place at the right time. This needs to happen for you, blah, blah, blah. You got the look, you got this, you got that. And I'm just like, I asked God one day, it's like, why? Why would you give me this gift? I mean, I'm unlike any other female singer. I mean, not really, there's other female singers out there, but at the time when I was trying to get into the industry, there were not very many female singers that, You know, other than like Joan Jett or Pat Benatar, there was like a couple that could sing pretty, you know, and hit the, you know, I had a very wide vocal range. In high school, I sang soprano, you know, I can sing low. I wouldn't say like bass, maybe if I really, you know, I could probably do some bass notes, but like tenor, you know, and I had a wide range. And, you know, there weren't too many women that could do that, you know, that could sing girl stuff, guy stuff, rough stuff, you know. So at that time, I was kind of like a rare, you know, a rarity. And I just asked him, it's like, well, I don't understand. You know, you gave me this gift and it's diverse and all this stuff, and, you know, it's what I want to do. It's like, and everybody says I should be there, I should be here, and I, you know, and I don't understand. And then he like opened my eyes and he's like, you know, this is why. And then when he started showing me the symbolism, let me know, you know, the Satan ran the industry, and in order to be in the industry, that, you know, you had to compromise and do this, that, and then it was just like, you know, wow, you know. I mean, when my eyes were open to things, it was just like, it just completely and totally blew me away. Um, because before that, I didn't see it. You know what I mean? I was just enjoying the music like everybody else, and I had my favorite artist, and I like singing along with favorite songs. And you know, there's a lot of songs that you probably sing still, maybe to this day. See, that's one thing that Father's blessed me with too. Is, I mean, I guess I can remember some of the songs still to this day that I used to sing. I had such a repertoire that from the time, you know, like I said, 3 years old all the way through, that Cleo, please don't. Just wait. You're all right. She's whining back there because she's ready for her special treat she gets about this time of night. She'll be okay though. But anyways, you know, I just was blown away that, you know, these words that you sing, like, you, when you're listening to a song, you might think it means one thing, or you might make it to mean something for yourself. But in all reality, when you really listen to the lyrics and you pay attention to what's being said, you know, you gotta be careful because you can be speaking a curse over yourself with it. You know, you literally will be speaking curses over yourself with some of these songs, and that's why, you know, I don't really listen to any of that stuff anymore. And if I do, it is only to, you know, if Father leads me to change lyrics in something, maybe because an older rock song is so popular that it clicks with everybody, you know, that the lyrics can be changed in a manner to glorify Him with it, or to speak a message through it. And, you know, if I had the money, you know, I also told Father that I prayed for, you know, if this to be, you know, they always say, you know, Father will supply the bricks and the money and whatever you need if you want you doing something. And even though I've been led to do these songs, I don't know if and when, but you know, you can buy or pay for, what's it called? I can't even think of it off the top of my head right now. But there's a way that you can, you know, just like Weird Al Yankovic uses people's music and makes parodies of it. You know what I mean? You have to pay to be able to use, you know, somebody else's music. And there's a way that I could do that and change lyrics and whatever, but you know, you have to have the money to pay for it. And you know, I haven't been blessed. I live very humbly. You know, I'm able to pay my bills and stuff right now and whatnot. But you know, I live in humbly, and I've been in the position where I've even been homeless, and I've lived in my car, and you know, I've been there too. So I've never been, you know, had a ton of money or anything to where I could just throw it around at whatever I wanted. So, well, I guess I should kind of. My ex-husband and I ran a business, I guess. I mean, I guess I couldn't really throw money around at whatever I wanted, but there was a time in my life when I was in more, you know, more free, comfortable position to where I didn't have to worry about anything. But anyways, back to the chat here and see if I can miss some questions and stuff. When I get talking and she's meowing and distracting me because she wants to have food, and so I'm just like, I don't pay attention to the chat here, so let me see if I can catch up. Oh, the hill song you're talking about, Jonah 33 Rivers. See, now I haven't heard of any of those ones, Ray of Sunshine, that I'm aware of anyways. I might have heard stuff and not know the name of the artist maybe, but it's also processed, though. Sounds like the food taste. You're funny, third party. That's a good one. Sometimes, it can be like that. I mean, there's a lot of times where you go watch a band live and they definitely don't sound like their records, let me tell you. You're disappointed. Let's see. The one you just recorded with. Okay. Which, are you talking, I don't know what one you're talking about. You have to maybe be more specific, Ray of Sunshine, the one I just recorded with. I haven't recorded a song in, other than me, like, recording it while I'm singing over on my phone. It was the only way I had to record things. At the time when I put those videos up on YouTube, they were just, I sang along with, somebody else's music. And I changed the lyrics. Except for on one song. I don't know if you've heard of the band Crowder. They have a song that I really like. It's called Run Devil Run. And I sang that one and I had that one online. Now I got copyright warning, like, just about immediately. I did a version of All of Me, the song All of Me, only I didn't, the lyrics were changed in it to glorify God. So even though it's his music and some of his lyrics are in there, most of the lyrics are changed because I changed them to bring glory to God in the song. Otherwise, the last time I recorded a song with a band was in, let me think. It would be like the late, 1999, 2000. In a literal situation where I was with a band in a studio. That song, that one, the metal song on that website, I collaborated online with that guy, but we never met in person. The guy lived in Spain, and I'm in the United States. And we just collaborated online, and he sent me the music, and then when my brother Joe was alive, he was awesome. God gave him a lot of gifts. And not only could he play just about any instrument, he played guitars and bass and stuff. He had his own little home studio to where he, could mix things down and do all that kind of stuff. The soundboard and everything through his computer and stuff like that. So that was done in I don't know. It might say on the website when you go and look. I want to say it was like 2007, maybe. Might have been a little bit before that. Somewhere, maybe 2005, 2007-ish, maybe around there. And that was the last time I haven't done any kind of collaborating or recording since then. It's been a long time. So, and then this is the first time in a while because since all this stuff happened and Father opened my eyes, and once I went and was baptized and stuff, that's when the attacks really started to come. I've been attacked my whole life from the enemy and really didn't realize it until Father opened my eyes and just showed me things that, that have happened throughout my life and stuff. I shouldn't be here. I should have been in the ground several times over, as many times as the enemies tried to take me out. Literally take me out many, many times. But But yeah, once he opened my eyes, the attacks really became pretty intense. And once I was baptized by water, we had my water baptism and stuff like that, which was done in 2013, I believe it was. That's when my eyes were open to even more stuff, like I've explained in other videos. I know my videos are long, and some people have commented like, this video's too long. You need to make it shorter. How do you expect anybody to listen to all this? And it's like, well, I could talk about God and whatever all day long. I got stories. I can tell stories, and sometimes when you're talking about God or giving a message to somebody or to whatever it is, sometimes you can't do it in like 2 minutes. Can't even do it in 10 minutes. Sometimes it might take an hour or whatever, and sometimes I do maybe ramble, or might get sidetracked or something, and then get back on track and whatever. Because there's just so much that goes on in my day. But once this started, like when Father opened my eyes to like all the stuff he has me using me for, like praying against witchcraft and I just pray against so much different stuff, you guys. Witchcraft is one of the main things though that I pray against, and it is the spiritual wickedness in high places, and it's from I'm talking top levels when it says, in the Bible, when it says, we fight not against flesh and blood, but against spiritual wickedness in high places. We're talking not, the high places, you're not just talking about heaven, we're talking about in high places on this planet, amongst ranks of people, high places. Okay, so, and I'm not going to name, secret groups and societies and all that, but I think you kind of know what I'm talking about there. High places. Okay, these people know who I am. I'm talking in high places. Like the things that I've seen and that have happened to me in my life since Father has called me to do what I'm doing. I could tell you some stories, and you probably wouldn't believe half of what I told you. And neither would I if somebody told them to me. You know what I'm saying? But I have seen some things, and I know that there are people that have followed me around that like in the area that I live, there shouldn't be, in my opinion, people of this what's the word I'll use, Lord, caliber, I guess I'll say. Like here where I am, I live in a very small town. We have tourism here. That's very we're busy. Tourism seasons, kind of goes both seasons. But other than that, it's not like, we're not like a very well-known place on the map. You know what I'm saying? So for some of these named people that have been here, and Father's pointed out, and it's exposed that they've been like watching me and monitoring me and following me around and stuff. To me, it's crazy. It really is. Like, because I'm just me, and they got to be bored by now. That's how I look at it. The excitement I have is more in the spiritual realm than it is in this physical one. They'd have been more excited to watch. Well, I'm sure they were watching back then too, but they would have had more to watch when I was more, living in sin and stuff, and in my band days, than what they have to watch right now. But I don't want to say any names really, but there are some people that know the names because when it first happened and I had documented proof and everything of it, and I showed it to somebody, and they weren't really freaked out about it per se, but they were just like, oh, well, you must be connected to that somehow, some way. It's like, no, I'm not. It's like I tried to get into this industry, but I have no connection here with this big, huge name right here. I have no idea why they're here in this small little place, like watching me. I have no idea, other than they're the enemy, and there's no other reason. So maybe one day I'll get into some deeper stories, but right now I'm not going to do that. But I'm talking high places, big names, people. They know who I am, and and what God's using me for. And so that is why my warfare is very heavy duty. You know, when it comes to people out there that they consider themselves targeted individuals, I have a few people that I associate with, people that I cover in prayer. Um, you know, people just want to call them people crazy, but they're not. They're not crazy. And there's an enemy right now that's watching. Anyways, Father's letting me know, and they're cursing with your tongue. Better be quiet in Jesus Christ's name. Or later on here, pretty soon, you're gonna wish you did. So, anyways, you know, when it comes to praying against the enemy, I have some pretty heavy duty warfare prayers. You know, all comes from God's word, and you know, Father doesn't play games. So they all know that. You know, and there's many things that people have seen around here as well. Like when Father healed me of my MS years ago, I went from not being able to hardly walk to, you know, like it never was. You know, you would never know by looking at me now that I ever had an issue. And there are plenty of witnesses to it. And just like Christ dying on the cross, and that people still don't believe that he did that. You know, people even if you were there and saw it and living today, I mean, obviously you wouldn't be alive because that was a lot of thousands of years ago, but, you know, even back then there were people that saw it and still, you know, some of them didn't believe that he was who he was. So it's amazing to me some things that people can see with their own eyes and like just try to chalk it up with something else or try to explain it off some other way. All right, Father, hang on a minute, folks. I'm going to be quiet here for a minute. I got to drill into Satan's ear here. He likes it. He likes to have his ear drilled in. He likes to be beat on. He must, because he gets it practically day in and day out, and he just keeps going. But I know that's his deal, you know. His goal is to try to take me down and out and shut me up to keep me quiet. And you know, I should show you this. Like what I tried to explain is that, like, how Father opened my eyes is that, like, the spiritual things are like, how do I explain it, Lord? It's like like I see it in the real time, like in the physical, and stuff that happens in the spiritual affects me physically in the physical. So, for instance, I tried to explain to people that your words have power, okay? And it's written in the Bible. You can either speak blessings or you can speak cursings. People can't seem to grasp that concept. But, you know, and that's why some people will say, you know, if you don't have anything nice to say, then don't say anything at all. Because, you know, each person's going to be held accountable. It's written for every idle word that's spoken. Okay? And you don't realize that if you're whether it be in somebody's face or behind their back or whatever way you're doing it, if you're speaking ill of somebody, that in the spirit realm like sends out like a fiery dart. You know, you can curse somebody with your tongue and affect them with your words, whether you think so or not. You can either speak blessings or you can speak cursings. That's what it says in Father's word, and that's the way it is. And so most times Father lets me know who's who, what's going on. You know, he protects me very well. And just because I don't say something to somebody or whatever doesn't mean that I don't know. Okay, I'm a very forgiving person. And I have, you know, I don't want to fight with anybody. I don't, you know, I try to get along with everybody as best I can. I know that it's difficult to do sometimes, but their witchcraft he doesn't let everything hit me, but sometimes he does allow things to hit me. And this is we're in a spiritual war, okay? A lot of people that are aware of some of the stuff that's going on and are in the spiritual battle, like they see things in the spirit different than what I do, and stuff that happens in the spirit doesn't necessarily show up or manifest physically for them like it does for me. Like if somebody's like the term I'll use is like stabbing me in the back, they're like speaking words against me behind my back, I will literally I'll feel it. I feel it and I'll know about it and in my back I'll feel it. Okay? And sometimes I'll even have a scar, like a scratch mark, or I get scratches. I've had been scratched. I've had, burns on me. Just to give you an idea. When you're in a war, it's not like in the movies. You're not gonna always look beautiful. I'm not saying I'm super beautiful. I'm not ugly or whatever. To me, I just think I'm average. I've had other people think otherwise, but whatever. I'm just an average, to me, woman. But how do I word it, Lord? Like when you're in a war, if you go into a war and you get cut by a sword, you're gonna have a cut mark on your face. It's gonna be, it's not gonna look good. Even though, So I have scars on myself because what happens in the spiritual realm, like I see it in the physical and it happens to me in the physical. I have scars, okay? And I don't know how else to describe it. Like in the Bible, it describes things such as being afflicted and stuff. It's hard to describe, but I could show you a scar. Scratch marks and stuff don't usually stay for too long. Usually, if they're trying to burn me or other things. Let's see. Show you. You probably won't be able to see it. Oh, yeah, you can see it. Like right here. That's a scar. This is a scar. There's a scar. If they're attacking my arms or they're trying to do something, I get the fiery darts. So sometimes they hit, and sometimes, I feel them, and they leave a mark or a scar. It's crazy to some people. I gave a testimony back of, I can't remember which video it is. I haven't done that many videos, but I talked a lot about some of the stuff. About the witchcraft and how, like, when this stuff first started happening, I went through like a Job experience where, and I still sometimes feel like I'm, having a Job experience because it's not as bad now as it was then because Father's taught me to warfare and I know how to pray and I can pray healing and all this kind of stuff. But when it first happened and like, how do I explain it, Lord? It's really hard to explain because it sounds crazy. And, like I said, if somebody was telling me about it, I think they were crazy. But, like, I was literally swarmed by demonized individuals. And just the stuff they were doing in front of my face even was just crazy. And I felt like I stepped into my own personal twilight zone. But when it first came up heavy duty, like I was afflicted from head to toe with, I don't even know how to describe it. I had like stuff all over my skin from head to toe. And I've never had an issue with my skin ever in my whole entire life. Well, I shouldn't say that. I went through my phase, where you have pimples and stuff a little bit when you're a teenager, but I didn't have it really that bad. And once we got through the little phase there, I always had a really good complexion, really nice skin, and never had skin issues, you know what I mean? And when they came out and started attacking me with the witchcraft and stuff, and Father showed me who was who and what was what around here, and they all knew that I knew. It was like, war on. And I literally was head to toe. And my mom was like all freaked out about it because it just like snap of the fingers. I went from looking normal and being fine to be afflicted, from head to toe with stuff. And it wasn't like Job describes, like, things weren't oozing or anything like that. But I don't know, it looked like a rat, like I broke out with some kind of rash, or I don't know what you want, but I mean, it was literally from my head to my bottom of, not on the bottom of my feet, but down on my feet, everything. And she took, made me go in and see a doctor about it. And when I went in, the doctor didn't do anything for me, but also, let me know that, for one, they didn't know what it was. Number two, that it wasn't contagious, which I already knew because I was, still in contact with people, hugging my kids and whatever, and nobody ever caught it. And, it's like the Father was explaining it to me, and I was trying to explain to them as I knew it was because of witchcraft, because he was letting me know that it was. He told me the curses and the spells that they were doing to, that he let it hit me for a reason, so that I would know how to pray against certain things. And so he let me know the names of these spells. One of them was called Legion of Legions was one that they were doing. And you could probably type that up and look it up, and you could probably find it online. And then the other one was, what was the other one, Lord? Because I really had to pray against it for a while because they don't do it so much anymore because I know all about it. Legion of Legions, and what was the other one? Oh, 3 Days and 3 Nights of Hell was the other one. And once I knew what it was, once he exposed to me what it was that they were doing, then I prayed against it and stuff, and then it cleared it up and it went away. And I prayed healing and stuff. He taught me how to pray healing over myself, and so I can learn to pray healing over others and whatnot. But when I went into the doctor's office, excuse me, the doctor was blown away because, he's telling me it's not contagious. It's not, he didn't know what it was, but it wasn't contagious, and, he just couldn't explain it. And I told the doctor, I said, look, I know this is going to sound crazy. I said, but I feel like I am in the book of Job. And I said, I don't know if you know anything about the Bible or whatever. I said, but, it's like yesterday I was fine, and I woke up this morning, and this is what it is. And I didn't explain all the crazy stuff that I saw people doing and stuff outside my house or whatever, but I did let him know, this is what my line of thinking was. And I said, I want to show you something. And he watched me pray the stuff that they were afflicting me with. I could pray it out of my skin. And he just sat there, and his jaw just kind of dropped open, and I don't think he knew what to think. But when I would pray, these little black specks I don't still to this day don't exactly know what they are or what it was. But I could pray them out of my skin. And I showed him it. I did it right in the doctor's office. And he didn't know what to think. But he took a tissue, and he took these little black specks that came up out of my skin that he saw come out of my skin, and he heard me pray over them, and saw what I did with his own eyes. And he took him and he put him in a tissue, and he was supposed to send it off to the lab. And he was gonna, he was like, here, I'll send this off to the lab, and I'll let you know what this is. It's like, yes, please do. I want to know what it is. I know that the spells that they were doing to do it, but it's like I want to know exactly what it is that they're they're putting into my skin, but with their curses, I want to know. And I had a bunch of other issues that day as well when I went into the doctor's office, all because of witchcraft stuff that they were attacking me with, that Father allowed them to hit me with. And he couldn't explain nothing. The doctor didn't do anything for him. He couldn't explain nothing. He was shocked at what I prayed out of my skin. And another thing, I walked in there, my blood pressure was 168 over 169. 169 over 168. It was one or the other, but high, extremely high, to where, you He told me that he couldn't believe I was sitting there on the table being like normal and cognitive and whatever. He's like, technically, you should be in the emergency room, having cardiac arrest, and like I should be sending you over there right now. But, you look fine, you're acting fine, it's like, well, I feel fine other than this stuff here and whatever. He didn't give me any blood pressure medication. He didn't suggest I come back and have it checked again because, I think that he knew what was going on, to be honest. And then he wouldn't say so. Like when I explained to him about the book of Job and I showed him, I prayed it right out of my skin, right in front of his face and all this stuff. I just, and God ended up healing me of all of it. Everything that I went into that doctor's office for, that my mother made me go for. We didn't know I had high blood pressure, until I went in there and they took it. Because otherwise I felt fine. I was working a job at that time, cooking in a restaurant all day long. I, get up early in the morning, drive almost an hour to my job, work like an 8-hour day, drive an hour back and stuff. And, I was fine other than the stuff that I had on my skin and at that time, my legs were swollen, like the size of my thigh, which, isn't huge or anything. I'm a petite girl, but my leg was one size from my hips all the way down to my ankles. They were swelled right up. And he couldn't explain that either. They didn't do anything for me. God did nothing for me. God healed every bit of it, and the main reason was for him to show and expose to me, that the devil has power. People will say the devil has no power. Well, that's not true. I don't like to give him any credit at all whatsoever. But, the devil and his minions, they do have power. And if God will allow, just like in the book of Job, Job didn't do anything wrong. Didn't even understand what was going on when everything started happening to him. But, God allowed the devil to tear Job up, pretty much. He was afflicted head to toe with sores. His kids and stuff, his family was killed, lost his kids. I think his wife ended up leaving him, and he lost all his cattle. It's like, a whole bunch of stuff just came crashing down on his head. God allowed it to happen, and it wasn't because Job did anything wrong. It was because the devil wanted Job, and God knew that Job wasn't gonna curse him or turn away from him. So if you ever read the book of Job, you should. Job got kind of a bad deal, but all in all, God knows what he's doing. You know what I mean? So, anyways, there are times when people are talking about me, and I know about it, and sometimes I literally feel it, and it manifests. If you're stabbing me in the back, I get a stab in the back, literally, whether it be a dagger, a fiery dart, whatever, So you have to realize when you're talking about somebody or speaking about someone, you got to kind of watch your words. And you can either speak blessings or cursings, and you never know, how your negative words are going to affect somebody else. It's definitely going to affect in the spiritual. Is it going to manifest on them in the physical like it does for me? I don't know. There could be somebody else out there that goes through and can see how I see and feel it like I feel it. I feel it. As soon as when they start cursing me, God lets me know. They start, I know right away when somebody is starting to do a spell or try to do something against me, he lets me know. And I immediately have to pray against it, cut it off, So sometimes I'll still get hit with whatever, there might be some time where I get distracted with something and get hit. It happens. So it's a war. And, some days, depending on how hard the attacks are, some days I can look kind of rough, So, just like anybody else that would go out on a battlefield and take a few, take a few. You just, bang, you scratch yourself up, you go ride a bike or something, fall down off and get, road rash and whatever. I mean, it's usually I don't look quite that rough, but I mean, I say that just because, when you go from having most of your whole life and not having any kind of skin issues or anything like that, and then all of a sudden, you're getting scratched, bruised, so half the time I don't even feel it, I'll just happen to look down, and if I was praying against something in particular, like God will bring something to my mind and say, yeah, you need to pray against this right now, and I'll start praying against something, and, maybe an hour later I might look down and I got a scratch mark on my arm, because somebody's ticked off because, because I just wrecked their whatever they were trying to do, and, it happens. And I know the stories sound crazy because, but if you listen to some targeted individuals, and I already know some of the stuff that's going on with me has nothing to do with things that are happening to them. But in the same token, it's when they say they're targeted, I get what they mean, so, but I don't have, there's people there's one out there that's documenting really well the stuff as far as, what do you want to call it? I don't know. He calls it broadcasts and stuff like that. They broadcast on his eyes and his face and whatever, and he can feel it. They're attacking his eye. He can feel it. He feels it hitting when they're attacking his eyes and stuff. I'm not saying some of that stuff's not happening with things that they may have, whether you want to call it a DEW or whatever. Because I know that there are other people that are. They've proven some things. They've been hit with some stuff. I have some friends out in New York. There's the last several years that I know how do I word it? Like, I have to speak out, or I don't know why I don't have to. God has blessed me with a gift. I don't have to speak stuff out loud. I'll see it, but I don't. It says that they also want usually that anybody. It's that mentality that this is a war. It's a fight for your soul. Whether you're to help. Leave anything, I'm still around the description box so people can check it out, and they hear me sing. I did have some other stuff I was going to talk about. Maybe I'll try to mention this person's name this time like I did in the past. For now, I'm going to end this stream because I just keep losing people. So for those that came to hang and box, like and share if you would, please. And you guys have a good night. See if everything seems to be going fine. See if this